After last week's heart-wrenching episode, which saw the death of Rolf Dibny, we see Barry dealing with the loss of his friend. But another friend, Leo Snart from Earth X, is able to help him work through it while transporting Fallout, who eventually gets to the exact same location that Thinker wanted him in the first place, in some secret Argus facility where he's playing Beach Holiday on his Oculus Rift while his radiation energy is being siphoned off. But there are some interesting revelations that I want to talk about. Firstly, the big one, Devoe and his wife Marlize. Marlize is genuinely happy to have her husband back, well, at least his face. And Devoe stops from drugging her with the weeper's tears. She thinks because he now looks like her husband again that he's going to be the same man that she fell in love with. She even wears his favorite dress, but she doesn't get the response that he was hoping for. Instead of love and affection, he gives her the cold hard facts. She is just a technician, she is just a distraction. And notice his choice of words. He doesn't even call her an engineer, which is a real Sheldon move. Devoe also gives some more clues as to what the purpose of the Enlightenment is. As he says, it's to right the wrongs of humanity. We also now know that they are just starting to build the device now, which means that they don't have everything that they need. And as we see in the promo next week, that's a lot of what it's going to be about. It's about them getting the tech necessary to build this Enlightenment device. And I think it's clear that Devoe doesn't want to absorb Fallout's powers, but rather that he wants to use his powers to fuel and power his Enlightenment device. He also interestingly says to his wife that his newly acquired elasticized cells are capable of acquiring another bus full of metahuman powers, which could mean, as predicted in a previous video, that the Enlightenment device will be used to detonate a dark matter bomb that will turn everyone into metahumans, which he would then be able to assimilate. Remember, last time he needed the dark matter energy of Barry coming out of the Speed Force to create the conditions necessary to create the metas that he wanted. And Fallout's nuclear energy combined with dark matter will probably give enough energy to do the same, but only on a much larger scale. And how will he right the wrongs of humanity exactly? Will it be through wiping out humanity and starting again? Or will it be bringing humanity under his control? However, with all this power, it seems he's lost his humanity and lost all emotion. And this is what leaves his wife, Marlize, pretty heartbroken and in tears, as she realizes in the last scene of the episode. She may have gotten her husband's face back, but he is no longer her husband. And he is no longer capable of emotion, and certainly not love. I also think that he perhaps had not explained the true nature of his plan of enlightenment to his wife, as she at her core seems like a good person, and that she was influenced to do the things that she did for love, and that ultimately her and Clifford would end up happy and in love together forever. And that's why she went along with this madness. But now that dream, that goal of hers, is no longer there to be achieved. And now I think with that particular curtain drawn back, she'll realize the madness of it all. And I think this realization will ultimately be Devoe's downfall, as this episode showed that Devoe could actually not account for emotion in his predictions and plans, as he couldn't predict Barry's strong emotional response to Devoe calling him rookie, bringing up painful memories of Ralph. And in the same way, I don't think he's going to be able to predict his wife's heartbreak. And I think in this way, it'll enable her to be his blind spot and in turn his weakness. And I think this could lead to her eventually working with Team Flash in bringing Devoe down and stopping the plan of enlightenment. As I said, I don't think she's going to want any part of this plan now, because it's not with Clifford. She loves Clifford and not the Thinker, if that makes sense. And she certainly doesn't want to be stuck with this madman. The next big talking point of the episode is that of Harry Wells and the effect that the dark matter has had on his brain. Last week they showed his addiction to dark matter, and this week it seems that it has had some irreversible effects on his brain, and apparently within weeks he's pretty much going to lose all his intelligence. When Cisco had the idea for them to combine their intelligence by each using a thinking cap, I thought for a second that the dark matter had turned Harry evil, and that he was somehow going to use this intelligence booster cap to perhaps siphon off Cisco's intelligence or something like that. But fortunately, he proved himself to be a true friend to Cisco and Team Flash, and he sabotaged the cap so that Cisco wouldn't use it. And I'm pretty sure they're going to find a cure for Harry's condition, but it's going to be very interesting to see how. And I think it could be that they're going to need to use the Thinker's perfectly designed thinking cap, instead of, as Devoe put it, the imitation thinking cap that Harry has used up to now. And if Marlize is possibly going to work with Team Flash, could she also possibly give her design to Harry and Cisco so that they can perfect their own thinking cap and cure Harry's brain? Interestingly, the next episode, episode 20, is entitled Therefore She Is. And I think the she in the title is going to be referring to Devoe's wife, Marlize. Now, this title is similar to episode 7's title in the season called Therefore I Am. As we see in the promo, we see her and Clifford dressed in normal clothes, and Clifford, seemingly in a wheelchair still, selling her on the idea of the Enlightenment, and putting, as he says, humanity on the true path. But later in the promo, when he's attacking Gypsy, she says they were meant to save them, to which he replies, "You can't save everyone." He throws Gypsy around, and we're obviously going to see her back for this episode, and probably talking to Sisko about her father's offer of becoming the new Breacher on Earth 19. But I think it's in this episode that Marlize is really going to make her move against her husband, as I said, realizing the madness of it all, and possibly making a move against him to stop him from senselessly killing Gypsy. The other interesting storyline is that of Caitlin and her relationship with her alter ego, Killer Frost. She finds out that there's no dark matter in her system, but that Killer Frost is still somewhere there in her DNA. It's going to be interesting to see how Caitlin brings out her alter ego again, and I think we all knew that Killer Frost would be back. Borrowed some money, needed a new costume, KF. So do you think Devoes Wife Marlize is going to be the one to take down Devoe? Will she be able to help fix his dark matter addicted brain? Will Sisko take up the offer and go back with Gypsy to Earth 19? I doubt it. And how is Caitlin going to trigger Killer Frost? And by the way, it was great to see that Caitlin showed that she's able to be useful to the team and is pretty good, ironically, wielding a cold gun. And now that we know Barry feels so guilty for Rolf's death, do you think that this could prompt him to use time travel in any way to get Rolf back? And I certainly think this is a possibility, as I think time travel is still going to play a part, as the mystery girl is definitely from the future, and is probably one of the Legion of Superheroes, and also Barry and Iris's granddaughter, Jenni Ognats. She was seen writing in the future language of what I think is interlac in her diary, and here she is talking to Rolf and Sisko, and she didn't warn Rolf of any pending death, so maybe things are supposed to happen this way, and I think we may be getting Rolf back through some time travel stuff before the scene is over. And finally, we're going to be saying goodbye to Leonard Snart, played by Wentworth Miller, at least as he says for a while, but you never know. In other words, he's leaving the show, he's actually leaving the Arrowverse, and I think it was a fitting farewell. And I really enjoyed his pep talks to Barry, helping him process his grief. He definitely had the best lines in this episode. And one line stood out that I think we can all learn from. You always treat everyone around you with kindness and respect. You should remember to do the same to yourself once in a while. So that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and then share it, as it really helps the channel. And please subscribe and enable notifications to make sure that you stay up to date with all the new Crafty Media content. And why not check out some of these awesome Flash t-shirts and cell phone cases, which you can buy by clicking on the links below in the description. I make a little bit on these sales, so it would be much appreciated. I'm also on Twitter and Facebook with the handle @CraftyMediaCo, so feel free to follow me and discuss anything you like. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Cheers for now.